Hi everyone. So, a question I get all the time as someone that is pretty crazy about organization is how do I stay on top of everything? Especially as someone who goes to a university that is notorious for being pretty demanding and pretty difficult. And one of the things that has kept me sane, if not the thing that has kept me sane since first year, is my Notion page. And I'm going to share that with you guys today. Just a quick disclaimer, this is not my current schedule for safety reasons. I have picked up a previous semester's schedule just to show you guys how it actually looks in action. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the template that I came up with has about 6 sections. These are today, immediate, upcoming, long-term, completed, and then I guess I count the calendar section as well. And they all serve really individual different purposes, but they work together. And I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but also looks simple. So I'm going to try my best to explain how I use this to keep track of all of my schoolwork. So we're actually going to start randomly. We're going to start in a not chronological order because I feel like it makes the best sense. Let's start with long term. So at the beginning of every semester, I take a look at all my syllabi and I list every single thing that will be happening during the semester in these little drop-down menus that you see here. So for example, I'll list like tests, or I'll list assignments that are due, or like even just the days I have lectures, the days I have tutorials, everything gets listed in these sections. So sometimes I'll like use a specific color to signify a test versus an assignment or something like that. But the idea is just make sure that everything that will be happening in the semester is here. So that way nothing ever, when I say ever, I mean ever, nothing ever gets forgotten because it's all here in these sections. So another important thing that I'll note is that I also make sure to include the week that something is in. So whether that's week 1 or week 10 or week 75, but also the exact date that it is due or the date that is going to take place. And you might be wondering why, but as you will see, this comes very much in handy in some of the other sections, and you can probably sneak a peek to see why, but I also include the date and the week. I will be honest with you guys, setting up this section is a pretty big time investment right from the beginning. But especially at the university level, you cannot afford to forget anything or let anything slip through the cracks. So I think it's worth it. And of course, not every method will work for everybody. But I found for me personally, nothing ever gets forgotten because I can see everything right from the start. Everything that I need to be doing right now, everything that I need to be doing in 2 weeks or 4 months or whatever it is. So yes, just that little disclaimer. It does take a little time to set this up, but it's worth it. In my opinion, at least. So another cool thing that I thought I'd mention is the ability to embed your course notes into the system. So this is totally not mandatory, not required to the system. In fact, it wasn't actually part of my original setup. I ended up adding this just maybe last semester, sometime there. And I don't know, we know Notion a lot for like its planning system, but it's also really great for notes. And it's nice having everything centralized and kind of in the same location, and you can really keep track of everything. It can be for lectures, for readings, whatever. But if you're like me and you already use like GoodNotes or some other method, this might be irrelevant. You can skip this part, or you can just use it like as a complementary thing in addition as well. Okay, so that pretty much sums up the long-term section. Let's move on to the 2 sections that are directly above. So that would be immediate and upcoming. So let's start with the immediate section. This section is literally, the best way I can define it is anything that needs to get done within the week. So it can be just the lectures you have for that week, any readings you need to get done, any assignments that are due that week in particular, everything goes here. And this is why I said it's really important to focus on that long-term section, because guess what you do? You take whatever it is that you've already listed there for that particular week, again, why it's important to put the week and the date, and you just move everything for that week from long-term into immediate. So simple, so easy. And that way, instead of everything hiding away in your syllabus or hiding away just somewhere in your course outline, you can see it right there in the immediate section. So that's immediate. The next section directly to the right is the upcoming section. I really like this section because it's like your stowaway section. The way I describe this best in my head, this is like everything that's coming up within the next few weeks or so, or in like the next few months, that you need to start thinking about, you need to start working on maybe, but it's like, it's not really that urgent. It's like, for example, if you have like a research paper that you have like 2 months to work on, it would be nice to have that visible, like it's coming, so you can like think about it here and there, but it's not like it's due tomorrow, I need to work on it now. And it just allows you to have a little bit of foresight in knowing what's coming and what you need to be preparing for. Okay, so the next section we're going to be talking about is probably the most relevant day-to-day, and it's called the Today section. So again, it's pretty self-explanatory, but this is everything you need to get done on the present day or in the present day. So everything pretty much comes from the immediate section. So again, you take a look at that section for the week and you say, okay, I need to get this psych lecture attended. I need to attend the psych lecture, and that would be moved into the Today section. Or I need to finish this reading today. That needs to be moved into the Today section. So essentially, it's just a lot of you being able to see exactly what needs to be done and when, to make sure that everything actually gets done and you actually show up to that lecture, or you actually get that reading done or that assignment done, etc. It's also important to mention the amount of flexibility you have here. If for some reason on that day you feel this immense drive to finish something from the upcoming section, you can always move it to today and work on it that day. It's not just restricted to immediate or upcoming. You can always tweak it, and it really just depends on what has to get done or what you're willing or able to get done on that particular day. Okay, so now we get to talk about perhaps my favorite aspect of this template, and that is the completed section. Because imagine just a situation where you get to check everything off that you've done that day, and guess where it goes? Out of sight, out of mind, to the completed section. And honestly, like my favorite part of the day, or one of my favorite parts of the day, is when I get to bulk select everything I completed that day and move it to the completed section. Because I feel so proud of everything that I accomplished. But again, out of sight, out of mind. It's done. I get to move on to the next day and work to accomplish the next thing. So honestly, guys, I love this section so much. Okay, so the last section that we're going to be talking about today is kind of an interesting one because it's a new edition. So it's the calendar section. And something I noticed about these 5 sections above is that they really give you a very specific overview of what you have to do within the week, or what you have to do today, or anything that's upcoming in the next few weeks. But it was kind of hard to visualize everything, and especially when you have multiple classes that can have coinciding due dates, it's helpful to have like a really good overview of everything important. So this doesn't include like lectures or tutorials or anything. These are kind of like the big things. So the essays, the assignments, the discussion groups, anything of that magnitude. I found that it was important to have just the general overview, because I don't know about you guys, but I'd like to know if I have 3 assessments on one day, so that I can plan accordingly in the weeks before. So I'm not getting to like the 2 days before and panicking about how I'm going to study for 3 tests in the next 48 hours. So that's the purpose of this. And as you guys can see, I have very specific names, but I also include tags that are color coded, so it's easy for me to know, okay, when I see yellow, it's for this course, or when I see purple, it's for this course. And I do this for the whole semester, so that if I'm really just feeling a little overwhelmed, or not wanting to feel overwhelmed in the future, I can look at this and say, okay, I need to start doing this at this point and this at this point, so that when I get to the specific day, like I'm not super stressed out and I have everything relatively figured out. In the perfect world, of course, it doesn't always work that way, but yeah. So that's pretty much how I keep my life organized and stay academically sane during the school year. I really hope this at least helps one of you guys out there. I will leave a template in the description if you would like to try this out for yourself. When I tell you, I could not be more thankful to God above that I found this system in first year, because I don't know how I would have survived otherwise. But again, I really hope this is helpful. If you have any questions or any specific questions about like setting up the system or maintaining the system, please don't hesitate to let me know. And I know as the school year has just started recently, I hope you're all doing well. I wish everyone the best of luck. I know you're going to do great. And yeah, I will see everyone in the next video. Thank you for watching.